All right, so tell me about the sex party.
Yeah.
Right. So
This is now modern day.
this is modern day.
Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
You ever dip a Kit Kat in peanut butter?
Well, I think it always started for me with movies. You go to the movies, you get popcorn, and then I would at ArcLight in Los Angeles when I was living there. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was one.
No, you're good, dude. I have nothing to do today.
We're exchanging.
We're talking about candy.
We're exchanging.
Oh, okay, good.
Candies like people in prison.
Well, what are we talking? I mean, what candy are we talking?
Everything.
We're talking about everything. We're talking because he was talking. You were talking about his. It started with his sheets and
Let's start with your sheets, getting silly putty on your sheets, and I say I do that, but with chocolate.
and then I said that happened with me with Swedish Fish, and then me and Mike just started connecting.
This is like
dude.
a playground conversation in second grade. Like, man, I fucked up my bed. My mom's mad at me.
It started because Josh said he had a silly putty addiction, and I was like, "Oh, when was that?" Thinking.
And by the way, I
young.
didn't just say that. I saw
Yeah.
You saw that, okay.
I go, is that silly buddy? I was like, can I move seats? I don't want if I could be that close to it.
What? Yeah. What you like as a kid or as an adult even?
It's an adult thing. It's just.
You like to play with it?
It's just a
You
play.
like to fuck it? What do you do?
Maybe I put my dick on it and I formed a cocoon.
Yeah, I would absolutely.
It takes
try
like 3 or 4 of them, not just one single.
Dude, I was actually I was out with my kids the other day, and they were buying like little fucking slime things or whatever, and I saw that that toy we always talk about.
Yeah.
You know that toy that's like
Yes,
it's like and you can fuck it.
Wait, it's like
yes,
it's like what do they call that in prison?
Fifi.
Fifi. Yeah, it's like a kid's Fifi.
So I saw that. Well, that's what fucked me up. Was that I was like, I've always joked on this podcast about how I fucked out like a ton of times, and I saw like it was in the kids section. It was like a little one. I was like, oh man, that's not right.
And once you start figuring out how your dick works, you're figuring out what things you can fuck.
And it's pretty much like all of the things at first. Like you'll try anything once with your
Dude,
dick. Vacuums and
I
bottles.
tried. The worst ever was I tried a fucking like a big thing. I want to be clear first here. It didn't fit. Okay? It didn't fit.
Meaning it
was too
small. Yeah.
But it was like a like the bigger things like Pantene Pro V.
Yeah,
And-
like the Costco size. Yeah.
And I took screwed the top off
with shampoo.
and I tried to stick my dick in it.
Shampoo in your dick is like
And
the worst
it's
thing
gonna-
It's
imaginable.
gonna burn
It
your
went-
dick
it
hole.
went-
Yeah.
It goes all the way in.
In pain for
Weeks.
Like dude, like think about like when you kind of think you have an STD and you're like, all right, I'm gonna give it a few days and like, but then I'll take myself to the doctor if I have something. I was like 9, like in my
what do I
like
do?
in my bedroom, like I can't tell my mom and dad about this.
fucked the shampoo.
I can't. I gotta, like,
Yeah.
Was your dick like inflamed
It
and like
was
red
it
and?
wasn't inflamed, it was a red rocket.
I am
like it was
literally, like-
so it wasn't like swollen,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was red. It was fucking.
Whenever
But
I
it
hear
smelled incredible, dude.
whenever I hear about childbirth and kidney stones, I'm like, no. Worst pain known to man or woman. Shampoo in your dick.
I don't think I've had it enough to really register.
Yeah,
I have had a kidney stone,
Yeah, that shit sucks.
and that shit sucks,
Yeah.
dude. That shit fucking
I would imagine
sucks.
the kidney stone's a little more of a. It takes days and days and shit, right?
I had to have they had to do the laser
Laser
thing to
thing?
break it up.
Why can't they just like break it up all the way if they're in there? Like it still hurts after they do that, right?
I don't know. I was fucking 17 years old, and
Oh,
it just
wow,
it just
you're
hurt.
young.
Yeah, dude.
Did you have a bunch of them?
No, it was like I just went in and I was like, God, my fucking like it hurts right here. And then they did like a scan of me and they were like, you have that, and I was like, it's like we can either wait for it to pass it or we could just break it up right now. And they were like, all right. And so they just took me in another room. They laid you down and did the thing, and then and I was just, and then it was just like, and then it was done.
Dude, we had that happen with one of our guys with PFT here. We went through a
Didn't
phase.
you have like 10 of them?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Like the worst part to me was where it's like, all right, you got one out, you know you have 9 more in your near future. Like that.
I'd be like, cut a hole in me. He still has one?
They're not a lot.
they're not allowed.
That thing's got to be like fossilized
Oh
by now.
my
That was like
God.
months ago.
Shit.
There's just one employee here is just walking around.
Just like
Sweating,
think about the
crying.
stress you have at
The
all
dick.
times, knowing it's
Yeah.
right there
At
Like-
any
like-
moment, like it could. Well, the real pain is the internal passing, right?
Yeah.
When it goes from like your bladder to your kidney.
All
or
I knew,
whatever, vice versa.
mine was only a 2-day thing. It started something started bothering me, and then from that, it was like I had to go to the hospital that night, and then I stayed over that night, and then the next morning they did the thing to get rid of
Yeah.
it.
What's the worst pain you ever experienced?
Fuck.
When my mom said she didn't love me.
Emotional? Fuck, man. I haven't really broken anything that bad. You know, fuck, I don't know.
When was the last time you were in a fight? You scrap a lot? I could see you scrapping.
The last fight I got into was in college.
Oh.
It was on drop classes day. And I was like hungover, and I'm waiting. The line is like so long out the door, and I'm waiting. And there's a girl in front of me, and suddenly this boyfriend of the girl cuts in line, and I'm just like, and I don't know what it was, but I just start talking shit to the guy.
I do know what it was. Like, you were hungover. The line was long.
Like, dude, you're fucking bitch, dude. Your girl fucking waits for you, dude. What the fuck's your problem? And he's like, dude, she's not even dropping a class. It's like we're literally just holding my spot. I was like, fuck you, man. You're a bitch. And then I keep jawing, and then he goes to his counter, and I go to my counter, and then he leaves before me, and as he's leaving, he's like standing in the doorway, and he's like, hey man, fuck you. And I'm just like, to the lady, I'm like, hurry up, come on. And I fucking book downstairs because he took the elevator. I'm in front of the student union. This is so embarrassing. I'm in front of the student union. He walks out with his girlfriend. And he just sees me. He's like, "Oh, come on!"
Always take the stairs, man. Always take the stairs.
And then Sickler. Every time I told the story to Sickler, you guys. By the way, he says hi.
Sickler, yeah.
He goes. This makes him laugh because I go, "Dude, you gave me the finger. Do it again, but do it right in my face. Like, no, do it right here." And he's just like, dude, I do not want to fight. This is over.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, well, you're a bitch. And then I spit on him.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
That's where I got it. I recuse myself. You spit on someone, we're fighting. Right?
I know.
It's happening.
But then he charged
Was it
me.
like a hawk, like a
I don't know.
facial?
It was like a widespread contra
Okay.
widespread.
Yeah.
But it hit him, and then he started doing that like
hulking up. Yeah.
hulking up, and then I was just like, oh,
Are we even? Is this like an
even
fight?
Steven?
Okay.
That was the only reason I did it.
Yeah.
It was even Steven 100%. And then he charged me, and I wasn't expecting it. And so then I kind of like,
I mean, who could have saw that coming?
I spit in his face, and the guy attacked me. And then we were on the ground. I'm punching him. He's punching me. Like my shirt got torn a little bit. His girl's like crying.
Oh, sure.
And then this is where it gets weird. They finally they break us up, and the guy's like, "Do you want any more? Is that it?" And I just look at him and I grab my bag. I go, "Thanks, man. I needed that." And then I just walk off. And he's probably standing there like, "The fuck, dude? Are you fucking nuts?" That was it. Last fight. That was it. Last fight.
That's an insane thing to say after your last fight ever. Like that seems like
you're retired.
I'm gonna get another fight tonight. Like thanks, man. I needed that.
Woo, I'm ready for the exam next time. All right, here we go. Come on, I'm awake.
But there is something about who was telling? It was Francis on Gillis's podcast. He was telling the story about like it was one of those things where both crews fought each other, so everyone kind of paired off, and it was like a scrap for like I don't know 3 minutes probably, and then it ended, and everybody was like, "All right, man, like."
Tapped it up?
Yeah, like kind of like, all right, it was an even fight. We all are drunk. We did our thing. Like the cops are coming now. Let's get out of here. And everyone was like, cool, man.
Did you guys have a friend that fought all the
Fighter.
time, which basically made you so unattracted to the idea of fighting?
Yeah.
Because it was just, I had a buddy, my buddy Matt, and he was just a big drinker, bigger dude, and he was an alpha. Like he was the alpha kind of our group, mostly because it was like he always had a hot chick, and he was just played lacrosse and blah, blah, blah. And we would go to the beach for senior week, and I remember we're walking the boardwalk, and that was where he fought.
If you want to fight, you go to the boardwalk. You can find a million
Ocean
people.
City, Maryland, just
forget
white
it.
Maryland trash,
Yeah.
and Matt walking around in his fucking like lacrosse gear, just like such a bitch. And there's this dude walking with two girls, and it's just me and two other guys, me, Matt, and my friend Greg. And we're walking by, and Matt just walks up to the guy and goes, "You think you're better than us because you got two girls?" And then just pops the guy, breaks his face, and I'm just like, "What are you doing?" Like
that is insecurity on a wild fucking level.
just it's
like I can see that guy being like, "No, dude, they're my sisters." Like,
they're both blind, and I'm leading them to.
I absolutely do not think I'm better than anyone. What are you talking? Pow!
We had a kid who in a very similar town to Ocean City. It was Newport, Rhode Island, and we'd have like fucking lacrosse pennies on. I didn't even play lacrosse. Just like we were just such fucking douchebags. Like in our
You
summer.
gotta see. While you tell the story, I'll pull
Yeah,
up
please
the
pull a
pictures.
picture
There's
up.
pictures of him in high
Houses
school.
that,
That's
like-
just
Because
like,
you already
oh
look
my God.
100% different than you did on Skanks. Once you shave that beard, dude, I was like, did
He-
you have
he-
court? Like, what are you
I was
doing?
gonna say he went from like a convicted felon back to like upper middle class.
But we just had like piles of lacrosse pennies in our like summer share houses that we just wear everywhere. And we had one friend who would just play a game walking down Thames, which which is like the main street in Newport, and it was just called Stiff Shoulders.
Yeah.
And it was he would just walk with stiff shoulders and would not move for anybody until he hit someone who started a fight. And that was his game. And like, it would be...
This is that middle school, high school, or is that...
That is high school. Like,
That was
high school.
dude. I've DJ'd so many middle school dances with that kid, just right out of
the shark necklace
just dry humping a girl like to a song, to the thong song.
It's a shamrock necklace that was
Oh, I'm
eventually
sorry,
cut
yeah.
off by the police, so I couldn't hang
that's right.
myself in the jail
That
cell.
is kind of cool, to be honest.
And then
You're going to lose your shamrock necklace. It's that way.
Just the idea that the cops are like, all right, we need your shoelaces, we're gonna need that puka shell necklace. Let's take that off, and just you and your umbros go to jail. That's what you're going in there with, umbros.
It was fucking like the cops were. One of the cops was telling the woman who
This is
arrested
the
me.
full length, by the way, with the Madras
Yeah, the
shorts.
Madras
Yeah,
shorts
that's
is-
even better.
Nice.
It's just awful.
That classed it up.
the
Seeing
cops
the,
were
seeing the
like-
bottoms.
And the Portsmouth picture. I mean, there's just so many.
Good hair though, dude.
Yeah,
no, it's
great
really
flow.
good hair.
He's
That's
always had
really
great
good
flow.
lay. Like it's you got like a River Phoenix quaff.
The
He'll kill himself too.
But the the cops were like, I was like, look, this is a choker. Like, do I have to take this one off? And they're like, no, it's fine. And this is in Billerica, Mass. And as he's saying that, a female cop comes up behind me and she's like, "It's coming off, sir." And she had a knife out and like didn't give me any warning, just grabbed it with a knife and like did it in one swoop. And I was like, that was really fucking close for not even saying like,
I'm
hey,
gonna put a
don't
knife in your
don't
ear.
move for a second.
Yeah.
Like, give me a little warning when a knife is touching my skin on the throat.
The guy that fights too much is the worst guy to be.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I had guys who were obsessed with getting pussy to the point that I was turned off by that. I was like, fucking chicks. I'm not even gonna do that. These guys are like the guys who, they go out and they have to fuck somebody,
Yes.
or the night is like a bust.
I've been that guy before. I have been that guy. I'm trying to calm it down now here in New York City because going from LA, which is like, I'm not saying it's hard at all in LA, but every girl that you meet is like trying to level up and find a
Yeah.
producer or whatever. And then
Yeah.
you come to New York and it's just every girl seems like they're down
But
to hang.
That's fine though. I mean, if you're fucking fine, but like if you go out and you don't fuck one night.
Oh no, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what I mean.
I'll go.
Like,
Especially
I would-
now, I go home to my dog and fucking
Yeah,
got a
that's
nice
what I mean.
couch. You know?
I'd have guys who were like sitting at the bar like sulking, being like, "That girl's a bitch anyway," and like, and it's like, so then I'd be so far the opposite way. I'd be like, "Let's just drink 1,000 beers and eat pizza because you guys are being lame
Let's do it
again."
for the boys.
Yeah, because it was like I couldn't get laid at the time. And I was like,
That's
"This
the
is just
best.
fucking stupid."
I had a buddy like that in college who was he was so obsessed with chicks that he would call out hot chicks. Like we'd be driving. I went to college in Florida, so we drove a lot. We'd be driving. He'd be like, "Yo, hot chick's coming up," and we'd get there, and it'd be a guy with just long hair. And I'd be like, "Dude, like, just wait until you're sure it's the right sex before you like demand like everyone look at the hot girl who's coming."
Wait, I think he's fluid though. I think he's fluid. I think so. Nah, he was a straight dude.
You'd be like in college and like you'd have like a Super Bowl party and they show where all the chicks at. Like
a
we're
Super
sophomore
Bowl
in college
party.
at a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
They're not here.
didn't-
They don't want to be here.
But I feel like every guy has a moment in their life where it's like when they first started having sex, where it's like the floodgates are kind of open because once you experience it and then you're put into a situation that's not your high school, or unless for some people it might have been high school, but it's like going to college and it's just like there's women everywhere and you're just like overloaded on like, oh my God, like
I can fuck all these people.
I can fuck everybody. It's just
Well,
like,
I also think that happens when, like, at least for me, the first time I kind of lowered my standards a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like,
there it
well,
is.
now there's a lot of people to fuck. Like, at first it was like I wanted like the hot chick and she gotta look like this, gotta look like that. And then when I went down a couple points, I was like, well, now we can do this all the time.
dude, drinking and drugs.
A drunk will fuck anything.
I'll give you this one. This isn't like I don't have to be clean. Do it.
No.
Okay, I figured that. Is this
I
a
mean, don't
kind
talk
of
about like raping someone.
There's no raping.
So I drugged this girl when we were drinking one night.
All right, so I've got this layer in my basement with chains. I used to be a raver. I was a raver in DC and Baltimore, and I'm cutting out a lot of. Yeah, come on, dude. I was, dude. I'm not gonna
I
lie
would
to you.
have pegged you as like a rock guy, though.
Oh, I was.
yeah, but
I was also a raver. I had because I went. What happened was I backpacked to Europe for like 7 months. I did ecstasy for the first time in Amsterdam, and then that was where I went to like a dance club.
wait,
and then
what age is this?
This is
Roughly.
this is 1997, so I'm like 18, 19. But I didn't start going to raves until 98, right around the turn of like 99. But I'm cutting a lot of that shit out because it's like the main story I want to. Because first of all, you get into the raves and sex is just being like offered.
Sure,
you.
yeah,
It's
sure.
literally
It's not a thing.
like
It's just like
it's just Woodstock. Everybody's horny. Everybody's on drugs.
Were they doing cuddle puddles, Adam?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had a cuddle ball, dude. I went
Have
to.
you?
I mean,
But
not
you
like
actually just end up having
it's
an orgy, right?
It's
You end
just,
up fucking.
it's just, well, no, I've never really had an orgy. I'm just saying, like, I've been.
Like
I can't
snuggling
say
with
that because I
multiple
just went to my first sex party out here.
Never been in an orgy except
With-
I did last week.
But no, but see, there's this chick. There's this chick.
Wait, hang on. We got to do so much. We got to explain the rave situation. We got to explain the cuddle.
Let me take
let's
my
break it
off.
down. I need
Let
like
me
a
take
to-do
my-
list here.
There's
Because I want
a
to hear
lot
about the
to
sex
go
party
over.
too.
All right, so the raver thing was I was 18, 19 years old. I think I just turned 19, and I was working at this restaurant, and like everybody that worked there was kind of my age, and we were all like drinking and doing drugs. And one of the guys was like, "Dude, there's this huge rave in DC every Friday night. You should go to it." And I went with him, and it was just like this, like I said, that moment where you're like,
eye-opening moment.
there's some of the most beautiful women in the
Yeah.
world. Raver women are the way they dress, everything about them, just gorgeous. It's like I think the only women that might be hotter are like X Games girlfriends. You know what I mean?
That's a great one.
Because when they do the
Yeah.
8 flips and then they cut to the girlfriend like,
She's
ah,
a rocket.
God,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
the flip, the 980. Go back to her.
Yeah.
And so I started going to parties, and then I started like dressing the part with the big pants, and it was just that was the 90s. That was like the late 90s, dude. I was fucking. Like I'm gristled now.
Yeah.
I was adorable, dude. I had the fucking Clooney cut with fucking with frosted tips and the
buddy.
puka. I had the 311 like ball chain. Just fucking horrible.
With the big pants, just fucking
Funny, and it upsets me. But also excites me that camera phones weren't around back then, because I wish I could have some of those photos, because I was always probably with like super hot girls, and they were always, like I said, dressed perfectly with the bare midriff and the short shorts and angel wings. But the problem is I was dressed exactly like that. Dude, I had like the Gwen Stefani like little Hindi dot.
like a totally unironic way.
Just feeling myself, dude. Fucking feeling myself. And that was where I started having like, you know, like it was like I would go to a club Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then a house party Saturday, and I would meet girls throughout the week, that weekend, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I would drive all over the DC area to like go hang out with them, and or I'd take them to my parents' basement, which is like the fact that any girl let me have sex with them in my parents' unfurnished basement with the washer and dryer.
Cellar, dude. You kind of do have a layer down below.
Just a washer and dryer, a card table, so me and my buddies could play spades. Like it was just
hilarious.
It's so I was a raver for a few years, dressing the part, and then I started kind of becoming more adult version of a raver, not wearing the clothes, knowing the people that throw the parties. So I'm like hanging out, and then I moved from DC to Baltimore. This is the story I wanted to get to, and then we'll get to the sex party. So the
floor is yours.
I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. This is what I'm saying. It's a little. Where's the camera on me? Right here. It's a little graphic. Just know that I'm not that person anymore. Okay. So we're at a rave in Baltimore at this club called the Paradox, which I know big supporters of Barstool. Jimmy's Seafood does. They do an after party. Not the after party. They do their big like Ravens football pregame party right where I used to take like a shitload of drugs. I was there with Sickler, and it's like the thing's abandoned now, and I'm like walking through it like, dude, I did coke right there, fingered a girl over there, and so we're at this club, and I wanted to do coke, but I couldn't find any, and I had a friend who sold meth. Now I didn't like meth, but I had done it like a handful of times. because I
That's
wasn't.
a funny amount of times to do meth. I feel like you're either one and done or a meth head. You'd be like, yeah, I've done it like 6-7 times.
6-7 times. That's how many times I did it, dude. I wanted to make. My dad said, dude, you got to try shit out. Make
Yeah,
sure you
that's-
know
I'm sure
you
that's
like
what he
it.
meant, yeah.
Don't just give up on the first. Yeah, dude.
He meant like baseball and shit, dude.
If you're doing crystal meth, methamphetamine, just try a few different dealer stuff. Find the right bag. But so I didn't want to do meth, but that was all that was there. And there's this blonde chick that's like hanging out with us. That's kind of like she's in the group, but she's not really in the group.
Mm-hmm.
She's not ugly, but she's not attractive. She's just there, and she's very I'm so sorry. I'm not that
girl's
guy.
watching. She's like,
swear
I
to-
was the girl who was just there.
I'm not that guy anymore. But
She was just there.
So,
Okay.
so but she's like
So
very.
their girl is
You know what I mean? She's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like if she
Yes.
if you. She'd be
Oh,
like,
I mean,
she-
most girls are just there. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Jackie, she's just there.
I'm so sorry, Jackie. You're way better than
There.
this blonde there girl.
Yeah, you're over there. That's
This is what gets me canceled, by the way. This is great. So she's always. I mean, she's very flirty with me, but I'm always kind of like, all right, whatever. And so my buddy gives me his bag of meth. I go to the bathroom. I do like 2 bumps of it, and then I walk out back into like the nightclub, and then I just black out. And then next thing you know, I wake up and I'm in my bed, like, but on like my like, you know, what do you call it, my shins. And I've got my hands down, and I look down, and that girl's head is between my legs, and I'm just skull fucking her. And I'm like, what the? And she's like, ah! And I was like, ah! And I never did meth again after that. That was the last time I did meth.
a good time to stop doing that. That is a
How
good.
do you? What is your guess for how much time?
Oh yeah, elapsed.
happened?
How long were you
Elapsed,
blacked
yeah,
out?
elapsed.
It was daylight. I would
Oh
say it was.
my
I would say
God.
it's like 8, 9 in the morning, because then I remember I was so like still awoken, like I was just like, oh my God, the shock from that, and then the
Yeah.
meth still in your system, that I went to because I was living in downtown Baltimore in like Canton Square, and then I went back to Towson, and I had to finish a paper, and I did great on it. Got an A. Got an A on the paper.
Oh, just so easy, man.
Super thorough. It was like all the details. I had like bibliography attached. And that was it. That was the last time I ever did it. Now,
That's a good note that you can still get hard on meth. That's what
Yeah.
Coke dealers should be like. Hey, if you can't get hard on this, we also
Meth. It's
ha-
Coke,
take
but you
this
can
bag of
fuck.
meth for the morning.
Yeah.
you know, I never had a problem not being able to get hard on Coke. Well, I mean, like meth, like I said, I only did it 6 times. Coke, I did a lot.
Many times.
Many times. And that was how I always feel like that's how everybody falls asleep post a night of doing Coke, is that you touch yourself until you get hard, and then once you get hard, you just jerk off until you come. And then right when you come, you're like, all right, that's it. Good night, everybody.
Marathon. You crossed the finish line.
I've said that before. Where I've had like just fucking jerking off at like 4 in the morning, pouring sweat because you gotta get it off. And then
You're not getting out of this one. So fucking do
there's
it.
only one
Come
way for us to
on!
go to bed.
Come on, you got this. You're watching the weirdest porn. You're like, am I into this? I don't know. It's anything.
And you're just suicidal for the next 4 days.
That's something. That's the thing, is that I haven't drank in like 15 years. That's not true. That isn't true. I haven't drank regularly in 15 years. What I used to do, and I can't recommend this to everybody, but this worked for me, was right around 2011. I would go, and I'm doing stand-up.
I have a feeling what you're about to say is super not recommendable. Then.
No, it's not. It's not. But this worked for me. I don't know how or why this worked for me. So I wouldn't drink or do Coke, because one or the other was hand in hand. It was like, if I'm going to drink, I'm going to do Coke.
Yeah.
Because I was a little guy and I always drank too much, so I needed Coke to keep me awake, and I wouldn't do Coke if I didn't drink. So it was like this double-edged sword. And so I stopped doing it when I first moved to Los Angeles, and then I think I start stand-up comedy in 2008, and right around 2010 is where people that you started with start getting shit, and then you start comparing your career, and then you start being upset about what you don't have, and then you get something, but then it goes away or whatever. And so it's that like the ups and downs of the entertainment industry. Because when we all first started and nobody had anything, it was,
You're all in the same boat.
it's the best.
Yeah.
We're sharing the same sampler at Denny's. Like we all just cared about each other. And so the real frustration started coming at about 2 years. And I had a buddy from Baltimore who had moved to Venice, California, and he was a day trader. So he didn't have to do anything. He just partied. You know what I mean? He would wake up early, do his day trading, and then he would drink and do blow. Not every night, but a lot. But he was a guy that I used to do a lot of drugs with in Baltimore. And so when he moved to Venice, when I would hit that frustration level in my career, I would call him up and I'd go, I'm coming over and I'm bringing $600. And I would throw $600 down and I'd be like, buy as much Coke as you can. And for the next 2 days, we would do every drug you could possibly get our hands on in those 2 days. Until I fell asleep. Until I fell asleep. We would just party. And then eventually we'd get to that place where I've drank so much and you can't snort anymore, you can't smoke anymore. And then I finally crash. And then when I woke up, I would drive back to Hollywood and I would be so hungover that I would be like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
And then I would get it all out of the way. And then I wouldn't do it again for about another year and a half.
That's a good run, though. I mean,
dude,
if you tell me that, I'd rather have once every 12 or 18 months a fucking binge and the other times I'm productive. I'd take that over everyday problems.
Dude, it was supermarket sweep during those 2 days where I'd be like, all right, we need fucking Molly. Come on, what aisle's at it? We
I
ecstasy,
would love to
all-
hear. I want to hear from the other guy who's either like on the phone being like, "Yo, it's time. It's been about a year," or he's like, the friend's like, "Who's that?" And he was like, "It's Josh." Like batting down the hatches. He's coming. Like, here we go.
He's still like, I love him to death. There's some people that just can
That's that guy
that
for
can
you, yeah.
party,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
can contain their life, they can still make money. If I drank, and that was why I went to Venice, because I knew that if I partied or drank or did anything in front of other comics, my career would be over. I was such a bad drunk. Like I was like fun. And then you'd hit that blackout level, and then I was just like a hurricane knocking shit over. And I don't miss it.
It's a great way to describe it.
I do not miss. That's not true. I miss sports day drinking.
Yeah.
I miss like football.
Yeah.
Like it's early. Like I do
Definitely.
miss that. But
There's something in the air when you get to like on the tailgate
you can
early.
smell it. You can
Like,
feel
all right,
it.
this
It's
is
like
fucking-
but this I'll never live this down. I gotta say this because we're talking about the tailgates. When the Redskins can't say it anymore. When the Washington football team.
the Commanders. Yeah, that sucks.
It'll always be the football team to me, dude. Commanders bullshit. When they played, this is so long ago, 1999, they played the Detroit Lions in the first round of the playoffs. And the night before, I went to that rave, that place Buzz in D.C., and I was up all night. I might have gotten an hour of sleep, and then they picked me up for the tailgate. And I'm drinking. I'm having the best time. We're smoking weed. We get up to the game. We get to the seat. I fall asleep during a playoff game. I wake up. I have peanut shells, all beers stacked on my head, and just the whole row being like, loser, loser. I'm like, still wearing my puka shell, like the tips. So,
All right, so tell me about the sex party.
all right. So
This is now modern day.
this is
Present day.
this is modern day.
Yeah.
This is modern day. So,
I've always wanted to go to a sex party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have you ever been offered or
No,
I
no.
don't-
I think I would.
I'd go as an observer.
I think I want to
but-
go as an observer, scout it out, feel out the scene, go a second time. I need to do like a little reconnaissance and understand. I can't go in blind and then just like have my dick out and be ready to rock. I need to be like, okay, here's what it is and here's what it's not, and then I think I could go and fuck shit up at a sex party.
And that was kind of the
As long as I'm with nobody, like you said, like I wouldn't want to be around peers. I wouldn't want to be around
Yeah.
friends. Maybe bring like a chick that you fuck there, and that's it. Like swinger parties and shit, where people like in the neighborhood all like I don't want to.
Yeah, I gotta see you in the fucking PTA line tomorrow. or
Yeah,
whatever.
like after
Dude.
like balling my wife. Like no, man, that's not happening.
Well, you realize there's a world of this here in New York City. There's huge, like I don't even call them like subsections. Like these are legit spaces, just the same way like Barstool like rents out a floor. These places rent a fucking Soho loft.
Sure, and
this-
I get remorse or whatever, regret that I'm not. Like I used to say that about just the fact that I wasn't a club guy, and I'm like, there are some of the best clubs probably in the world, like right down the block in Manhattan. You know? I said that about the comedy scene. Like, as much as I go to comedy shows, we should go every fucking night.
Yeah.
Because it's right there, and all we do is drink in the same old like Irish pub, watching the game a million times over. There's all these things, and even Broadway. There's a million things you can do in New York that is like people travel far and wide to do it, and we have it right here, and we never do it. And then one of those things is being a sexual deviant, because there's a fucking whole world that's like we design it for you. I remember when I learned about the traveling strip club that was like underground, but it wasn't underground. So it was like every, I don't know, they pick a spot and you have to like know somebody who tells you where it is. It's not like broadcast or whatever. But that even became like, I'm sure the people who it once was underground, like me at Deloitte, was finding out where to go. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I want to get to the real shit. You know?
Oh, I went to the real.
Yeah, you went to the real deal.
Because I had an OG that took me. I had like a legend in the sex group fucking world. I
like the inventor of it.
There's a girl that I met in Los Angeles that is. Everything she does is in the sex world. She has a sex podcast. She works with like porn stars. She's a burlesque dancer. Very attractive. Kind of looks, the best way to describe her, she kind of looks like Gozer from Ghostbusters. You know, remember like, are you a god? You know what I'm talking about? You don't. Come on, right?
I've never seen any Ghostbusters.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. He's never seen.
Never any of it.
Well, now it makes sense why you haven't been any sex parties, dude. You haven't seen fucking Ghostbusters.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Well, this is my type.
This is like Bridget Nielsen, like a fucking Viking woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
and what's her face just was it? That's Olivia Wilde, right? In the new one, the reboot.
That looks like
I think it's Olivia Wilde.
Let me see. Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the older one.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying this is the where.
Because that's the new one.
That's the yeah.
Yeah, but with blonde hair.
Okay.
But with like fucking bleach blonde hair.
yeah.
Oh yeah, like Brigitte Nelson when she was Drago's girlfriend type shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Gotcha.
For sure. Rocky 4. So we had hooked up every once in a while in LA, and then she lives out here and I live out here, and I don't know. Oh, she did Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, Big J and whatever his name, Ralph show on Gas Digital. And she came in and was like a sex expert or something. And and then Jay told me, and I go, oh shit, I forgot she lives out here. So I hit her up and she's like, yo, if you want to hang this weekend, I'm going to a sex party. Would you be down for that? She's like, I don't know if it's your bag. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm actually doing what you don't do here in New York, which is enjoying the fruits of New York. Dude, every month I go see Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. I take a shitload of mushrooms and I just trip balls with a bunch of your dads and just fucking, and I love it. I go to sporting events by myself. I do. I always like. It's you never have to worry about missing something that you want to see with dicking around with other people. So when she offered it, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go. I'm like, what is it like? She's like, well, we have to dress up. It's kind of got like a religion theme. You don't have to. Because I had a show beforehand. She's like, you don't have to get dressed up. Just wear like all black or something like that. And so I go do my spot at the Cellar. I go back to my place. She picks me up in like an Uber, and she is like, I mean, full
what is
like
she doing like a sexy nun sort of religion, or like a?
She's kind of got like
because religion sex can go one way or it can go the other.
It's more.
Like you walk in, and everyone's dressed as an altar boy, and you're like, I think I'm out on this scene. Okay, I don't. That's not my sex party.
Frankincense. You're like, this is too real.
Yeah.
She's literally nothing on her said religion at all. It was just like a really sexy black leather
outfit,
Halloween
costume type shit.
Yes,
okay.
Very sexy, like big boots up to her like her thigh high, like underwear on.
That's how Zach dresses.
No, he's a Duke fan. So we know about you guys. So we get to the thing, and it's in this nice loft in Soho, and you like walk in, and up front there's a couple couches and just people like milling around. Some of them dressed provocatively, some of them dressed like, in suits, but for the most part everybody was very like, less clothes. Like it was there was a lot of flesh out there. And then you kind of walk a little deeper into the room.
And wait, what did you wear?
I just had black jeans
Just
on.
black shirt, okay.
Black
So you're-
jeans. I did put on kind of like I changed my shirt from like from a black t-shirt to like more of like a Brad Pitt fucking like open collar.
Okay,
Like I
okay.
was like I was like this is
a sex party, right?
What do? You go through your closet. You're like, all right, can
Yeah.
I fucking this?
We should
Can I
go through our
fucking-
closets for like next episode. Be like, here, if you had to go to a sex party right now,
Yes.
you can't buy anything. What would you wear? Yeah.
And you'd be surprised because I would love to
can put it
see.
together.
Dude, I mean, I was like, flannel? Nah, that's not me. The fabric's too coarse. You'd fuck a pussy up that way. So I put on this like black like linen shirt, and we go to the thing. And you walk in, there's couches, people talking. Then you go a little further, there's like a DJ area, a little dance floor, and a bar. And then you go behind, I wouldn't even call it a curtain, but it's kind of like, it was just a very flowy, I guess, curtain. And you walk through, and there's like 9 beds. And then there's one main bed, and then past that there's another curtain, and then there's another bed that's more hidden, and then there's like a wall and like a kind of like something like I guess women could like straddle like a like you ride the bullet saddle ranch type shit.
Yeah.
And then there's something with like chains and shit too. But there's people
And are those beds in like cubicles, like walls, or no?
Oh no,
Everything's
it's all
everything.
open.
Yeah.
There's
Right,
I would
right.
say because it's like bed, both right next to each other, smushed together, and then like a little space with like a nightstand too. And there's condoms and fucking mints and shit, and then bed,
Got it.
and then like the main bed, and then bed, and then you go to the thing. It's like bed here, and then sex
Do you
torture.
have to be
area.
somebody to fuck on the main bed, or is it just like?
Yeah, I was gonna
dicks?
say, how do you get called up to the front stage?
I think at first. I think they because this is when I came to
But not
find
like
out.
rookies fuck on the main bed.
Yeah, dude.
That guy's dressed like Brad Pitt. We're not doing that.
He's a pounder. Get him off. He's like, come on, man. Slow it down. So no, there was. This was what's funny too. It's like you look around the room and it's like there's. This is the one thing I said to myself. I was like, everybody here's attractive. Everybody. There were even the guys. I was like, oh, everybody's like handsome.
Yeah.
But the girls, every single girl, and maybe it was just how I'm interpreting. They're half naked. You see, like, you see their
they're
body.
sexy no matter
So
what, kinda.
immediately,
Yeah.
it bounces up because you see a girl has curves. You're like, oh my god! And so she goes from what if she was on the street, you'd be like, but then you see her half naked, and you're like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So everybody's just hanging, talking. Nobody's doing anything, and I'm with, which I come to find out that this is like a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Like this girl is like people respect
one,
her.
yeah.
There people are like
You're walking around the ballpark with like Ted Williams type shit. Like,
Yeah, dude. I got posed, dude.
Yeah.
I am fucking. I have a fucking like legend of the sex show world, and so she kind of leads me in, is introducing me to people. Everybody seems cool, and then we go to like a back area. And then she starts like kind of getting on me, and I think she's trying to test my limits of what I'm okay with.
Yeah.
And so she starts like unbuckling my pants, and there's like people like right next to us, and now we're in that back room bed in that back area. So everybody's still milling around. No, there's some other people kind of starting to hook up, but
Sheets on these beds, right?
yeah, dude, it's
okay.
not. This is like everything's clean. It didn't. I'll be completely honest. Nothing felt gross.
Right.
Even when like later when people were fucking everywhere.
And there's cum all over the place.
Just it never fell. Like, what the? So we're laying in the thing, and there's people talking like over in like on the side of the bed, and then she's like pulls my dick out, and then she starts giving me a blowjob, and I'm just like, I guess I'm fucking doing it, I guess. And then this German dude in like latex just like turns around.
You're scaring me with those
Yeah,
fingers.
yeah.
German dude.
You had 2 fingers prominently displayed there.
I didn't even
This
realize I
guy
was
comes
doing
up to me and he's fucking.
I didn't even realize I was doing that.
That was exactly what I thought. So you're like, and then this German
this-
dude. I was like, oh
So
god.
this German guy comes up. No, but he comes up and he's so dainty, and like he like looks at me and goes, "Looks like you are having a good time."
That's straight out of a movie, man.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to respond. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And, he's like, and then he like turns
You
around
know
and
what
goes,
that is? That's in Super Troopers, the guy who's having, he's the same exact guy when he's trying to suck everybody's dick. You're going, sorry.
So then he goes. So then I'm like, yeah, it's freaking cool. And he goes, "You have a nice penis. Enjoy yourself." And then he turns around and he goes back to his conversation. Now can't. I start like in that moment. I get a little shell shock, so I start losing it.
I was gonna say that's.
So what do you think I did? I brought some reinforcement.
Absolutely.
So I go. Okay, can we just take a break for a minute? I immediately go to my coat, pull out fucking. I get a. Dude, this is why I love New York. Is I have a prescription for Viagra just because I'm 42 years old. You just want to have
keep
it.
that thing on you.
Yeah, dude. It's just there's nothing worse than losing an erection, and it couldn't even just be the girl. It could just be what you ate. It could be just mental.
Sure.
Like it's a complete mental thing. We have to move blood. And the older we get, it gets harder. We clog our arteries.
Brother, you're preaching to the choir. It's all good.
Yeah, dude. Don't fight it, people. Seriously. Get a Viagra.
Yeah.
Proud sponsor.
It's the weirdest thing that we can't. Like the only thing you can't really control is your dick, the cum and the blood. You know what I mean? Everything else, your brain tells to move and do it. You do it. Not your dick, man.
Your dick
Just
is
fights against
so
you.
temperamental. It could be anything that just sets me up.
Your dick's like a chick. Your dick's
really
like a girlfriend. You can't control it. It's temperamental. It has a mind of its own, and ordinarily it's doing like whatever to piss you off.
When you don't want to
But
get
you
hard,
love it, and you can't get rid of it. So.
when you don't want to get hard, you get hard.
Yeah,
when you want to
that's
get
what I mean.
hard,
It's always
like
the opposite.
I'll go halfway al dente. I'm not going.
And that's the worst.
And it's
You're like,
the
oh, if
worst.
I pull out, if I thrust outward too far, it's done.
over.
I can only give you like a half a thrust.
and I think I started using it when
That's a slippery slope, though, right?
not when you can just get it sent
Well,
to
I
you.
guess so, yeah. But I've just heard like if you can rely on it, and then if you ever need, but if you have an endless
I have
supply of
money.
it, yeah.
I have money. Who gives a fuck? That's what I'm successful for. Like to
So
be able
wait,
to.
do you?
I rely on water. I rely on food. I
Yeah,
rely on all
I
these
have-
things I can buy.
buy it.
You don't want to, you develop a dependency on this water thing. You're in trouble. But so when if you're going on a date or whatever the circumstances, you take it preemptively,
I just bring
proactively
it.
in the moment.
I
like,
bring
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I bring it. I keep it on me, and when I feel like I know it's gonna happen, like I just
Take it then.
dude. I was.
Because you don't. If you take it too early, you take it too late. Like, is it? You know,
It takes about 20 minutes for it to work, and you know it's gonna work because you start getting horribly congested.
Really?
Oh, I read that.
You're rock hard, but you're like. You ready to do this?
I did not know that. Really?
Swear to God, dude. I swear to God.
I read a GQ article that was like this dude was like the whole article was like my wildest life, the wildest year of my life partying, and he said he got addicted to Viagra, and he was like I had nasal spray and Zyrtec and all that shit like at all times he had that.
Dude, I can't tell you. I'm sure I'll be like, this is great. Yeah. All right. You're just like, it's the most Jewish thing about me. And it just amps it up to the. Dude, when I was doing a show in Plano, Texas, and I met this girl at one of those like. They don't have like Hooters, they have like tight ends. Do you know what I mean? And like. It was so funny because she wasn't into me, but then she found out I was a comic doing a show, and she said, "Ooh, can I come to the show?" I was like, "Sure." And then she comes, and then we're hanging out after the show, and it's going great. We're hitting it off, and then we go back to my place, and she's gorgeous, and something like I think I was just too high, and so I started noticing it wasn't like it was kind of going down a little bit, and we'd already been having sex for like 20, 30 minutes. So then I go,
Heavens, I mean,
the whole
that's-
foreplay, it's the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
mess. It's not like I was just like, all right, now we're gonna take a break, and so I remember I get up and I was like, oh man, I'm way too high. Let me just take some of these vitamins, and she's like, what is that? And I'm like, just some vitamin C to bring me out of my
Flintstones.
It's blue.
Emergency.
It's blue, but don't worry. And then we started hooking up again. But what I did, I just gave her head until my nose got stuffy, and then I was like, all right, let's go. If she's listening, I was
You
very
can't give head stuffy. You got to stop on. I once had a cold and I was congested, and it was like early on with this girl. Like had seen her a couple times, and I had I had nasal spray DoorDash to my house
Really?
to clear it up. And like after we got more comfortable, I told her that, and she was like, "That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever done for me." Because I was like, "I'm gonna go down on this chick tonight," and I was like, "I'm not gonna be able to breathe." I'm like, I was like so stuffed up, and I just had it delivered to my fucking house. And dove down there.
did you just have him leave it at the door? Or you had to answer it just like wearing like some sleep pants, just rock hard tent.
Absolutely. I'm sure I added something else in there, like, "Oh, I'm also gonna get like some snacks or whatever." But if I could have had it, it would have been like, "Here you are, sir. Thank you for my one little bottle." But yeah, all right. So back to the sex club.
Well, I want to say this about New York, and this is about the Viagra in New York. This is why I
It was
love
like the bagels in New York.
Dude, everything's
Viagra
better.
in New
Everything's
York.
better, dude. So there's a girl I've been seeing, and we're hooking up, and right as like she starts giving me a beach. I'm so sorry this is so dirty today, guys. But
This is our episode.
She's giving me a beach, and then she goes to turn to go into 69. And then she looks back and she goes, "Oh yeah, I squirt, by the way, a lot." And I'm just like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude." And then 30 seconds later, like just squirt, dude,
waterboarded?
just hits, dude, like waterboarded. But the shock,
That's awesome.
The shock took me out of it so much that it killed my erection, and I had run out of my prescription. So I'm like, "Fuck, man!" And I just say to her, she's a cool chick. I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry, but I gotta go run down to the thing."
See, by the way, girls, like, if you need any more proof that it's not your fault, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's a hot chick squirting on my face, and I lose the erection.
42?
It's not you, it's us.
42 years old. We ate heavy carbs, pasta,
been a long week of
squirt.
work, you
It's
know?
a whole thing. It's like I'm waiting to find out if I booked this audition. It's just everything is just stacking up. But she was super cool about it, which I don't think most women would really be upset if they knew we were juicing. But like, you kind of like, I was just honest, and she goes, "No, I don't care."
Yeah.
And I was like, They probably don't have anything. I'll just buy one of those like cheap dick pills that they got.
Gas station shit.
And I go down to
Let's
my
see, give Laura a
corner,
heart attack.
which gives you, yeah, dude, those are the worst. But they work.
work? Yeah.
They work, but they fuck with your head. Like you get a headache, you feel dehydrated. It's just not good for you.
No, I mean, they're always like Tiger Style or some shit like that.
Rhino 5000. I just want a boner. So I go down to my corner bodega and I walk in, and I remember I'm wearing my fucking like snow boots, some Umbros, like a hoodie, just like I was like, "Hey man, do any of those dick pills work?" And the guy goes, "Nah, man, but
got
these do." And he pulls out Viagra, and I was just like, "Yes!"
How much did he charge you?
$10 a pill.
Oh, wow, that's not bad. I was
Wait,
going to say,
was-
in that moment, I'd be like, "I got you over a barrel, brother, because I know what's going on. $500. Let's go."
Funny thing too, I told a bunch of comics that we know, and all of them made orders for me. They were like, "I'm gonna need 20. I'm gonna need 15." I'm just going in there buying the guy
Wait, so he was
always
just selling
has
you.
them.
Well, is his prescription? He's like selling you Lucy's.
They are Lucy's. They are for sure. I think
this guy's a drug dealer. That's what he is.
but you're helping people.
Yeah,
You're
true.
helping people. Like dealer, savior.
A drug savior.
Savior, dude.
There you go.
No, I think one of the guys that shops there is like a doctor or something, and he just writes them prescriptions so they can sell them. But that's why I love New York.
Yeah.
It's like that wouldn't happen in LA. It doesn't happen anywhere around the world. But also, out of all the bodegas in New York City, the one that's right next to my store, where I live, in that moment that I needed it, fucking had it. It was like
That's what the tweet should have been. You know that there's a tweet that went viral from some girl that was like, "What do people outside New York do when you want to go to the store and get a Gatorade, a bag of chips, and like some bread or whatever?" And everyone roasted her, being like, "That's just like a 7-Eleven or like
That's
any other
everywhere,
corner
yeah.
store." And she was making it into some like only in New York thing. But that is some only in New York shit, where it's like you did get your chips and your ice cream and also some pharmaceutical pills.
yeah, dude. I get a panini and a dick pill at fucking 3 in the morning.
That is a special New York thing.
Nah, it's one of the many reasons I love it here. And then like I said, the women. It's making me sound like that's all I do is fuck. Like maybe every once in a while, if I'm lucky.
They're squirting on my face. That's
Yeah, it's
awesome,
pretty
by the
cool.
way.
Yeah,
I would be I'd be like, because the problem with a squirter, if you want to call it a problem, is like, it's a mess. It's a fiasco, And if you're doing it consistently, it's like, all right, Jennifer's coming over, like, get out the Dexter room,
Do you wanna
Also,
know-
if she's into 69ing while that happens, it's like, all right, I got to do my
You
breathing.
gotta
exercises.
get fucking nose plugs, like those little Jewish kids at camp,
Dude,
fucking goggles and
Like,
shit.
all right, I can't. Keeps going up my nose.
Earplugs and everything. Oh my god.
do you want to know how I know I'm old? This is how I know I'm old. When she squirted in my face, my first thought was, "Oh no, my comforter! Oh God, I just got this back from the Fluff and Fold." I swear to God, dude, we can take this off. I don't get the towels down.
I remember the first time I hooked up with a squirter, and she like told me like going upstairs to my bedroom. She's like, just so you know, I squirt, and I was like, oh fucking hell yeah. And then like the third time she did it during sex, I was like, all right,
Okay, that's enough.
you gotta
Alright.
fucking
Now you're
knock it
running up
off.
the
Like,
score here.
This is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Now I know you're just peeing,
it's,
all right?
It's one thing to just get some on my sheets. Like this is seeping into the mattress at
Yes.
this point.
This is, bro. I mean, people lay down towels. I've gotten fucking waterproof blankets before. They're like probably made for like children.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, as a kid who had them as a child, they are made for children. And had them in college. They're also made for drunks.
Towels, dude. Just have towels. Have like shitty towels at your dispense.
like
That
the
you
puppy
know.
pads down.
Just know, like, if I know that she's coming over, it's like I try to use like one dark towels, and then I try to like and she knows it. And
Yeah,
she knows.
yeah.
And I mean, I don't think she's doing it to.
No, she's
I don't
not
think-
trying to ruin
because,
your shit.
no,
well,
she's-
maybe she is though. Because if I was one, I'd probably be like, "Watch this." I'd go Cytherea with that shit.
I've thought that, dude. I've thought that.
Yeah, like
I've
she's
thought
putting
I was
on a
like,
show, right?
all right.
Yeah.
I think most of that's pee.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I know it's not, but it kind of is. But I'm like, is there like a whole separate container in there? You know what I mean? People talk about like dessert stomach. Is there like a whole fucking there's a bladder and there's a sex bladder over here?
There was a
'Cause-
dude. There was a dude that he was like a comic for like a month. But he was like, I just remember this from years ago because he, but you know what I mean. You meet this, suddenly there's like a person in the scene, they're doing stand up and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people, but this dude, good looking guy. And I remember we were talking about something after a show and he talked about how he can make any woman squirt. And then he was trying to describing how to do it, but he goes, but here's the thing. He's like, the first initial gust, he goes, is like the cleanest water you've ever had in your life. But then 5 seconds after that, it's just pee. So it's like Evian Natural Spring, the East River water. Yeah. It's like it's
Dude, that you know how like that went became like a big thing they'd have advertisements for on Pornhub and stuff like that, like how to make any girl squirt. That must have been the worst thing that happened to women for like a 3 year.
Because guys are just jackhammering them like,
Yeah,
no, it's
and
gonna work. It's gonna happen.
kneeling on their stomach.
Yeah. No, it's a very
You gotta put pressure here. It's like, all right.
yeah.
no, I swear to God, this will work.
I watched a
Smoke coming
I watched a 45-second YouTube video. Don't worry.
Everybody became a chiropractor. Put your leg here. I'm gonna apply pressure over here. And
Pop it. That's fucking hilarious.
that is some funny fucking shit, man.
Wait, did we ever finish the sex part?
Yeah. So back to Brigitte Nelson and the sex party. So you're walking around with the Hall of Famer.
She got the gold ring and everything.
Yep.
So then I go to get the reinforcement, and then by the time I come back, she's already kind of like not dressed, but she had kind of zipped her thing up a little bit, and then we come out to the main room where that bed. Remember the main bed I was talking about? That main bed. The dude comes out, like the guy who runs the thing, and he's just like, "Thank you everybody for coming." He's like, "We just raised $24 million." For doing this all over the world,
out.
because you gotta figure, dude, there's
Big rollers, high rollers.
yeah, this is what you do. It's eyes wide shut.
So they're
Yeah.
raising it for charity or for
No,
themselves?
it's just for them. It's
Trying
like
to pay for the fucking condoms
Yeah.
and the space. And
It's
the-
just a weird way to describe making money, though. Like, we raised it.
Yeah,
Like, imagine, like,
yeah.
every year McDonald's was like, this year we raised.
the Ronald McDonald House.
There's are there a lot of prostitutes in there, or is it all like?
It was all regular. It
Regular
felt like
people.
all regular
'Cause
people.
I was thinking maybe they also pay, to make sure there are chicks there that'll fuck you. Like
maybe.
high-end,
I mean, well, here's the thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because
Here's like, what if you're like a disgusting looking person, you show up, like, there's got to be somebody that's like, well, my job tonight is to fuck that guy so he has a good time and comes back and I get paid for it. Or is it just there's a lid for every pot, somebody there will fuck you?
well, that's the thing is that there isn't a lid for every pot. Not everybody's fucking because I didn't. like after the fact, after the OG left.
Yeah.
Because what I was gonna get to is that.
Yeah,
So
sorry,
we
continue.
no. So they do this, like, he explains this thing. The girl, or the guy explains the thing, and then he do like kind of like a sex, not show, but this like artistic dance that was like 5 minutes long. Somebody ate some fire or something, and then they're like, all right guys, that's it, now let's all have fun. And then people started breaking off into their little subsections. By the way, do I have a booger hanging on my nose? Right here.
No,
Okay, good, because it feels like it.
No,
This
you're
whole, for the last 20 minutes, I've been like, all right. So they break off, and people get in their little sections, and people just start like hooking up. And then me and the OG, we start hooking up, and there's not much bed space, so we find this one like area. There's like people fucking here, two girls and a guy, and then like a dude with like 3 girls. And like, this is the funny thing too, like those dudes are not good looking. Like the dude with 3 girls, I was like, this looks like fucking like an accountant. Like, he doesn't look like he's anything special. His body's not in good shape, but he's got like 3 girls that are all like attractive. And so we're in between both of them, and because I'm with the OG and she's super hot, they kind of start molding into us. So the next thing I know, because I'm laying on my back and Brigitte is giving me a blowjob, this couple over here starts reaching and grabbing the OG's boob, and then she starts grabbing this girl's thing, and then this girl's grabbing my dick, and then it's just like when you said the cuddle puddle, then it's
Everybody.
all, but it's like, it's like we were, what's the word? Enveloped?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a girl right next to me, and I remember, and she's so hot, and so she's kind of grabbing my dick, and then I go to like to grab her boob and then kiss her, and then I go to kiss her, and then the guy that she's with is like, yo, he's like, no kissing, and I'm like, all right.
People got
Well,
rules.
he's got her hand on my dick. No kissing.
Fingers are in my ass, man.
Yeah, dude. And then that just like kind of like made the situation weird. So me and the other girl, the OG, she was like, hey, they're about to like gangbang, so let's just get out of that. And then we got out of that puddle, and then the OG, she goes, all right, well, it's 1:30, so I'm going to get out of here. She goes, but you should stay. And she's like, listen, just be cool. Don't be creepy. And you could just join in with other people. And now at this point,
But see, then, I'm like, what are the rules? Because I was going to kiss somebody thinking that's okay.
Exactly.
And that, so I'd be afraid I'm going to get fucking slapped or hit or arrested or some shit.
dude, and that was exactly because I was also too high too. So that now I'm already like questioning, and then I would like talk to a girl, and I'd be like, I think, and then she'd be like, I'm gonna go here with my friends, they're fucking over there, and I'm just like, all right, well, can I? No, all right. and so I kind of
You'd be terrible at this, trying to pick up on the
dude.
signals.
God.
We talk about missing signals in general when it's like, oh, that girl wanted me to ask for her number or whatever. In an orgy, it's probably even like worse, where it's like, I could have like fucked her and her friend.
Yeah.
And instead I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a coffee or whatever.
dude.
That guy's swallowing fire over there. I'll be right back.
So here's what I did for the majority of maybe about 45 minutes. I kind of just like sat in this chair, drinking like club soda with like my shirt like unbuttoned, like I was Lestat from Interview with a Vampire, just like looking over this whole thing.
What if you started pounding off?
Yeah, the guys just jerking off.
There was, I didn't
Probably
do
be that
that.
guy.
There was like, it
You
was
catch
so
me in one of those masks with the big nose.
yeah.
Yeah, I went to a sex party.
Wait, is that Ken? No, it's not. It can't be. He wouldn't be here. He's at the Irish bar most of the time. So there was at one point there were that big group of gangbang that we were a part of. When we walked away, there was just this like random like I would just call him like an OG like old school black dude, kind of like in Sean John, and he was just like standing over top of these people, just fucking jerking off, looking at him, and nobody cared. So you can just do
Bro,
that.
I mean, you can't be fucking aiming the thing at me. Like, if you want to...
I assume he
flattered,
turned.
but
Yeah,
come on.
but like...
Or he pulls a
but-
napkin out and goes, all right. Ooh, okay.
I just don't know how fast you turn. Like, if you want to jerk off in the corner, fine. But you can't be fucking... like in the military, you got to have fucking muzzle control.
Yes.
Like,
Downrange!
Yeah. Here's the funniest thing about all of this. You talked about getting recognized. So I'm sitting there like Lestat, having my club soda, and this dude that me and the OG had not been making fun of, he just looked out of place. He was wearing a really nice suit, kind of looked like a businessman. And he walks up to me, he goes, were you at the Comedy Cellar a couple nights ago? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, dude, you're really funny, dude. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Bro,
that also
have awareness. Like, even if I recognize the guy, like, not here, dude. We're at a sex party.
That's what I kind of always started to worry about. Like I was really ever gonna do any of this shit anyway. But once Barstool got big enough, I was like, I can't have any of these fucking nights where people are gonna be 1 minute, man. What's up, dude? Like, now my boner's gone, dude. Come on.
Think about how great that 1 minute man would be after the sex party. Can you believe that there are sex parties all around the country?
Well done. Oh my God. Yo, while we're just talking about completely ridiculous sex things, I don't know how I stumbled upon this.
What
I
is
don't know
it?
if it was sent to me. Have you ever heard of the Baldo? Bro, I thought I had seen relatively everything when it comes to sex toys and whatnot. This thing is preposterous. The world's first Baldo. A new sex era has arrived. We've created the world's first sex toy that could allow you to penetrate your partner with your balls.
Oh, I think I did see this.
You strap your balls into this, how it works. So they say save your balls first. You strap that thing around your balls, and then it has like a point to it. But what I don't understand, so yeah, you put your balls in. There's a picture of it down here. Yeah, okay. So imagine you got that torpedo thing on your balls, right? But now what? Now, do you like squat up and down?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't understand what the pleasure we would get
they
from.
They say that, where is it? It says somewhere that the balls have, it's something like 6,000 nerve endings. And it's the same.
Nerve ending nonsense is just stuff they make up. Just perverts make up.
Yeah, wait, here.
Cloth mass, nerves on your balls, man.
It says
you
men
have 400,000 nerves up your ass. Like, just shut up and say like a finger up your ass.
I was gonna say that's what they're.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say men can have an orgasm from stimulation. Did you know men can have an orgasm from stimulation to their balls? A ballgasm. The outside of male balls has almost the same amount of nerve endings as the woman's vulva. Now, also, like, the vulva is a hot spot, but it's not like the clit. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so there's some pleasure
if
there.
you're doing something else, like jerking off my actual dick while you touch my balls.
I still don't
how
understand.
how many times are you given the orgasm from just the vulva? That's pretty fucking hard, too. You know what I mean? The balls have been long overlooked as a stimulable sex organ. The Baldo changes that forever. At first, my, like, deviant ass was thinking, like, it's for, like, double penetration. But I think it's like, no, it's just supposed to be you put your balls in at the same time. Because I was thinking if you were, getting off on like your dick, like normal, and then your balls also were getting something good, it's just like extra. But I don't think, if I was just dipping my balls in and out, I don't think I'm coming.
I mean, I could have a fun doing it.
I would have a blast. But I think I'd be there. I think I'd be there for like 100 hours.
Yeah.
And I also don't understand the thrusting. Because your balls kind of go down.
They're droopy.
So I feel like you have to like squat.
Yeah, you gotta squat. It's gonna have to be a pile driver situation. You're gonna fuck up a C4, C5 vertebrae at some point in it.
Did you see that? You know Adriana Chechik, of course, right? The porn star. She went to the doctor and has fractured vertebrae up here, and she said in her tweet, like, I know 100% that this is pile driver related, like because of doing the pile driver too much. And people were tweeting like, "Thank you, Adriana."
She sacrificed her body for her.
And she was like, and also I'm not stopping. She's like,
fuck yeah, dude.
She's like the doctor being like
a linebacker on the Lions in 1997. It was like, I know I have CTE, but this is what I was born to do.
Yep.
I'll put a shotgun in my chest in 5 years, but until then, I'm fucking hitting heads.
One day it's gonna really like fuck her up, and they're gonna have to wheel her out, and like right at the end of it, she's gonna put her thumb up like that. Like, guys, don't worry, I'll be back.
Cheers.
I'll be back. Legend, fucking legend. I don't see any purpose for the ball thing.
No, but I'll tell you what. Baldo.com, like, send over. You want one? We'll get to it.
Yeah.
You want 100%. Send over 3 Baldos and we'll try it out because I'm down to try absolutely anything. I am just super skeptical that it gets you to come.
I don't think it does. Dude, that's the whole thing.
It's telling you that you're gonna have a ballgasm.
So we can have an orgasm via the prostate. You can,
no doubt.
There's like, but that's like a weird thing about putting pressure on something. Your balls don't have it. I've never had anything that's been like if a girl starts messing with my balls,
I mean,
So
don't
what
get me wrong, it feels good.
It does feel good, but sometimes they manhandle them.
Yeah, so you gotta be
You
gentle.
ever lose one of your balls where it goes up inside your
Yes,
body?
yes.
And you gotta stop them and be like, give me his Tina. Hold on
Pop
for
it
a
back
second.
down.
Let me just find there it is.
I
All right.
was with a girl who didn't know that was like a thing and thought that was like a problem, you know, like, oh, I can't, you know, I was like, that can happen to anybody.
Yeah,
You get it up in like your
it just
pelvis
gets
area.
it just
I
goes
don't
up.
know that I've ever gotten a ball in my pelvis area.
You have that,
What?
right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's you haven't had your scrot manhandled, I guess. That's what I'm learning from this.
Pop it
Well, I
inside
mean,
you.
hang on. Like
Right now it's up in there.
yeah.
You just
You just gotta find it and let it and release it. Yeah.
I didn't know how far up you meant. Yeah, all right. I've had that.
Yeah, I'm not
happen
saying
to
it's
me.
like
It just goes above. It goes
It's-
above the dick.
It's above
Yeah.
the base.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't- it's not-
I've
it's
done
like
that
it's
just
up
sitting
here.
on it before.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's common. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. All
And then
right.
you just have one and you kind of pop the other one out. Is there ball stuff in the gay world? Do they like would this work, you think? Could a gay guy make you come by ball fucking you? Or getting fucked by balls? The only time I saw that there's a
Zach's like not interested.
there's a porn where the guy yells booyah and they
Oh, I know that one.
they I don't know if he yelled it on purpose, but then it was turned into the acronym BOOYA, balls out of your ass. and it was just this giant black guy with a girl whose asshole was like this big. So he put both of them in, then he popped him out and he went booyah.
Well, Segura, and him and his Christina have found like some very, very
they're
disturbing.
disgusting.
Yeah, they're disgusting. And there's one where the guy runs. You see from just his ass. He like the camera's set up from down below, so you don't get to see his face. But he like runs into the shot, and it just shows. So it shows his ass, and he shits his balls out of his ass.
Yeah. We've seen
And I know,
and
but
they're
that's
so graceful. It's like it's almost like a bowing. Like,
yeah.
and they're long and
it's like
they
a
kinda-
rose petal falling.
It's beautiful, man.
I was gonna say it's like the waiter at a 5-star restaurant, like bringing the wine out.
Yeah, 100%. It is.
And this is what we recommend for tonight.
Rose. Yeah, here it is. Here's booyah. Balls out of your ass. Oh wait. Spank
Balls out of
wire.
your ass.
You porn.
God bless the internet.
Yeah, hang on. I will find it. It's on Reddit somewhere. But balls out of your ass was like a war cry for this guy. Yeah, it says I can't click it right
Well,
now.
do you remember Nick? Who was the porn star? Nick something. And when he used to nut, he used to go dropping loads, dropping. Nick Manning, I think his name is.
Bro, that's like a
Dropping
guy
loads.
shouldn't be able to fucking make that much noise on a porn set. You should feel like you have a legal decibel level you have to stay under.
Dude, I don't know if it was a side effect of COVID, but it made me sign up for a bunch of OnlyFans accounts.
What is it?
He has a book called Dropping Loads.
Thank you. Told you. I'd read that. I would read that. He was great. He was on Stern. Like he was just like a dude that like good looking guy, kind of looked like Ricky Martin, but like a more masculine Ricky Martin, like pulled back hair. And he was big. Yeah, this is him.
Oh.
And that
Wait.
does not seem like a guy who would be like.
Wait,
he seems
who
like
is
he'd be
that?
like, I'm a lover who.
Yeah,
you know,
but right
like,
at
he
the
doesn't
end.
seem like dropping loads.
He kind of
guy.
looks like Richard Grieco.
Yes, that's who he looks like. Thank you. He looks like Greco.
I actually only know Grieco from Always Sunny.
Dude, I can't believe I can't find balls out of your ass right now. I'm so upset.
But what were you saying about OnlyFans?
Oh, so there's like from being online, you're just like, all right, well let me I follow this girl, or like I saw her at Suicide Girls, and she's got an OnlyFans. All right, it's $3.99. Fuck it, I'll pay $3.99 to jerk off to her. I'm gonna jerk off anyway. And there's this one chick who's
That's the OnlyFans. What became a dangerous game during the pandemic, though, because you like
horrible.
Slippery
It ended
slope.
up being like you're like, am I spending $400 a month on porn? What the fuck?
I try to keep it as limited as possible. There's one that I signed up for. It was a girl that I went on a couple dates with, but we never had sex. And then she had an OnlyFans.
That's better, I think.
It's the best.
I'd rather if I went out with someone and they said right now, we can either fuck or like you can watch my OnlyFans, I'd be like, I don't know, this is like a 50-50. That, that to me,
you have to fuck.
yeah, but there's something. I feel like finding an OnlyFans in the wild is a lot different than
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Wild OnlyFans could give a shit about it. Sometimes it's a girl that you're like super attracted to. You're like, oh yeah, this is like, I'm into this. All right, I'll pay $10.
Yeah.
When I went to Tight Ends, there was one. Our server, gorgeous, had an
That's gotta be
OnlyFans.
I didn't even think about that. If you work at a Hooters, here are your wings. Like, thanks a lot, guys. Like, here's your bill. Also,
I have an OnlyFans.
here's my at. you
Yeah,
know?
dude.
Holy shit.
Just fine, dude. It's just
That's-
but there's this one girl that who I signed up for because I follow her on Instagram and she's hot, and it's like she's full on sex like with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend won't shut the fuck up. He's just so loud. Oh baby. Oh please. Oh baby. I'm like, good God, man.
I can't wait to marry you.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Your mom is so nice to me.
we getting dinner after this? Just shut up and just fuck your girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's people
Be fucking
masturbating.
quiet, man.
I hate him.
You know, there's a camera in the room, right? It's not just you two.
I wish I could shout out. I don't want to give them the money. I know, but it's like, you'll figure it out, people. I'll give you Suicide Girls, boyfriend's loud. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to help her.
We got a guy here, Glenny Balls, who is like he has dubbed himself a like an OnlyFans analyst, if you will. I think he has like a running blog of like top 5 or top 10 OnlyFans accounts.
Heavier guy?
Yeah, big boy.
He
He does the Sunday conversation videos with Caleb. He's the guy eating ice cream in the middle.
Yes, and
it's great.
And the girl, the two girls that I think he's had on, Jeannie Exum, who I found, she was the one that stabbed her boyfriend.
Yes, amazing.
But I had found her on like TikTok, and then I found like her OnlyFans. I've never paid for it. I signed up for the free thing. It sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sucks.
Yeah, like there should be a standard on OnlyFans of, you know, we've signed up for people in the past. It's like they're just like Instagram almost. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like they had blurred spots as their like teaser, and then when they unblurred them when you paid, it was a bikini. I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yes.
There should be like an OnlyFans CEO that like bounces you.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
Well, it's also us guys, dude. Like, we're so like, ugh. Like, we see a girl that we're like, well, I'll just spend all of my money on. I'll never meet her, but it's like I just want to see her. Her and that whole group of girls, because I met a bunch of those content creators when we did this JFL Escape. So Just for Laughs had like a thing with like me, Santino, Bobby Lee, Jim Jeffries, and we were in Mexico, and there were like a bunch of like OnlyFans creators that went to it, and so we had met a few of them, not any of those girls. But they kind of, when I met them, that introduced me to all of their friends, which are all like those girls that your buddies had on the podcast.
Yeah.
But if there was one that I could shout out, my ex-girlfriend, who I lived with for 3 years, one of the sweetest girls I ever dated.
Hers,
her
huh?
name,
What's
Tessa Fowler. There's one of the girl, Jeannie Exum. He's had the other girl on his podcast, a girl, Maddie, who's got these like long titties. They're big, but they're long. Tessa has award-winning boobs. She was in
So
Playboy.
wait, it's your ex-girlfriend's?
It's my ex-girlfriend.
You're shouting out your ex-girlfriend's OnlyFans right now?
Because she's the
What a
best.
guy.
She's the fucking best.
I thought you were going to be like, my ex-girlfriend's roommate. No, it's your
No,
ex-girlfriend.
but she's-
That's awesome.
But she's making like, she's already making like $40,000 a month.
Absolutely,
she's
dude.
killing it. And I get hit up by guys that are obsessed with her because she doesn't post a lot on social media. So it's always like some weird Indian guy that's like, "Where has Tessa been? Please help me find Tessa." And have you talked to her? Is she okay? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I think she's in LA. I mean,
That's unbelievable.
but she's killing it, and she actually, and she does it, and she spends money. Like, what I loved about her, and like we were talking about how it's just Instagram. She doesn't show. She might show like her with panties off, but she doesn't show like her actual like vagina.
Yeah.
But she went out. And when we dated, she was like, if she got like something in her head, like a hobby, she would just go for it. Like, it'd be like makeup. I remember one night I woke up one morning and she just like had like, you know, gotten like where he makes it look like a bone is like ripping out.
yeah,
but it was like realistic. I was
Right.
like, how did you do that? She's like, oh, I just learned it online and I bought all this stuff. She got into balloon animals for a minute. And dude, she made me like
you can just do shit?
Dude, like a Homer Simpson balloon and then a guitar and then a Washington football team helmet. Like, she was so good at it. Which,
Dude, What a keeper. Go back. I get her, man.
We're just, I love her to death.
Yeah, just
and we
by the way.
actually just went out, when I was in LA a few weeks ago, we went out to eat. And I love her. But we're just not.
Dude,
right for one
that's
another.
just a funny thought, though, is like, if you combine all those things, like you walk in one day and she's got like a zombie makeup on with a balloon hat on and the camera's ready to fuck on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Honey, you're home. Like, let's have some fun.
Dude, this is, since we were talking about sex anyway, we loved the movie Mad Max Fury Road. And I woke up one morning and she had makeup on her face like she was a Morton Joe. So the guy with like the thing,
yeah, the
and her
mask
hair's
and
in the
shit,
thing.
yeah.
And then she gave me a blowjob. Like a Morton Joe. We put the soundtrack on Spotify for Mad Max.
That's green fun. That's amazing. I think it went viral within, I don't know, could be years ago, but somebody said girls, not enough girls have hobbies, and that's why there's always problems with like guys like want to do shit. And I feel like this girl's got hobbies coming out of her fucking ass. Maybe
the
this is
best.
what happens when girls do have hobbies. I can do balloons, I can do makeup, I can do OnlyFans, I can do it all.
But what I was saying about their OnlyFans is that the way she gets obsessed about shit is when she started because she used to have a website, and this is why I'm like a big believer in the way the industry in both comedy and now porn has changed, because we don't need that middleman anymore. Just like
Right.
you guys can create something and we
Put
can
it
start
right
a
out there.
Patreon
Yep.
and we can go direct to the consumer. Just like what she used to do when we were dating. She had a website. And she made $4,000 a month off that website. But she did all the work. She took all the photos, she edited the photos, and then sent them to a guy. And that guy had the hosting site, and then he would take half the money.
Oh.
So she's cut that guy out now.
Right.
But she's also, because she's like, well, if these people are going to spend $10 a month, I'm going to give them quality content. She went out and bought like the best cameras, the best editing equipment, lighting kits. And so she like was showing me all the stuff that she has and how she does it. And she doesn't use anybody to help her. Like in every photo that she takes, she's kind of like got a hand hidden so she can hit the clickers to take the picture. It's genius.
Wow.
But the quality is like great. And so, you know, there was like most of these people are just like, all right, here's my
Yeah. Which, to be honest, that will work. But also, I feel like a lot of times the guys who pay for porn in these that Indian guy you talk about probably would be like, I appreciate the HD 1080p, so I will pay that much more, or that girl or whatever.
For sure.
I mean, it's. I remember when OnlyFans first started popping, a lot of guys here were like, I mean, who would like pay for porn? It was like a lot of fucking people. A lot of people, and whether it's like just to like give it a whirl, whether you're a fucking full-blown pervert, whether you're just like, I knew that girl in high school, whatever the situation is, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of free porn. There's also a lot of porn that's behind a paywall that I want to see. It's like there's a lot of people who imagine just being like, who would give money for sexual pleasure? Like,
dude,
tons of fucking people, dude, and a lot of it.
I live right next door. Like I live in Gramercy, nice street, but there's a Thai massage parlor right next door, and it's dirty.
I would go every day.
I went once
Just
to meet the neighbors. Just wanted to meet the neighborhood, and it was exactly what I thought it was. But I only went with just like the regular rub and tug. I didn't advance further.
so it's a whorehouse.
For sure.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can
okay.
fuck.
Yeah.
For sure.
That I don't want to do.
Exactly. It's like, dude, like, you know, if you have that, you always would have those like moments where you're like, God, I just need to, but this isn't.
Yeah.
All right, this, you know, I'm helping her out. She's helping me out. It's a business exchange, and sometimes you get a good massage out of it.
That's the biggest problem. But I feel like I would want to go in there sometimes and be like, can you not jerk me off today? I just got like a knot here, and you guys give the best rubs. So like, can you just work on that for me?
If you could find that place that actually has the massage therapist, because most of them are just like, they'll give you like, I'm just like, no, right here, and then it's like, just push. All right, just jerk me off. Let's just get this over with.
Or when they walk on your back, it's like, I don't need you to fucking do jumping jacks on me. Just fucking rub me good.
But most of them, there was another comic, Sandy Danto, that said that had like a joke about trying to find the perfect balance between hand job and massage, and I forget if he ever had found that in LA. I don't know if it's
like the Holy Grail.
I don't know if it's possible. I don't know, but the one thing is though, is like their hand jobs are so good.
Yeah, they know what
like
they're doing.
it's like when you take that toothpaste and you're just rolling it up to get that last little bit out. They're just like, and you're like, I with my own hand, I can't do that. How did they do that? Is it the lotion? Is it the oil? What are you doing?
That's why when people say like what hand jobs are underrated because it's like bad hand jobs are bad, just like bad anything
Horrible.
is bad. But if you do a hand job right, it's fucking magical.
I'm a huge
You got
hand
two
job.
hands, you got 10 fingers, you got lotions and creams and shit. Get different angles. I mean, I would give a great hand job.
You'd give a great
I
hand
would
job?
give a great hand job. I'd probably give great head too. You know what? It's like
Oh,
why
I
gay
wouldn't
guys are.
give
Why
great.
wouldn't you?
I wouldn't
It's
give
like,
Why
great
wouldn't you?
head.
If you're gonna do it,
Because you're
fucking
jealous.
do it.
You're too not jealous. You're too selfish. You're not.
No,
You're not a generous
I'm
lover.
the opposite.
You're apparently
I'm
not.
the No, I just have a bad gag reflex.
Oh, that's true. But you know how that can kind of play in
You
your
can
favor.
Smack it across your face. You go.
yeah.
You can pop it.
When they do that, when they smack the it's just not necessary. It's like that's not doing anything for anybody except degrading you.
This is my favorite podcast I've ever done. I mean this
When
sincerely,
people, sometimes
dude.
people say my friend like has never heard the show. Like, what's the one episode they should listen to start off? I'm gonna start saying this one. Mark this down.
It's so much
This is
fun,
the best
dude.
one to do. Yo, you give you were when we were sucking those bottles.
That's true. We did have a bottle off. With Bert
we had
Kreischer.
Bert here. Bert was explaining somehow. I asked him about like him and Segura when they first started out. Within like 30 seconds, we're blowing bottles because he said on like the first or second episode of Two Bears that I was like, "Did you click with Bert right away?" And he was like, "We did this thing where we were talking about would we be good or bad at head." And I think Tom took out like a Poland Spring bottle, and they both had their own bottles, and you squeeze. I would squeeze your bottle, you would squeeze my bottle as like the cum. And the point was that Tom and Bert, they both just did it, no problems, no questions asked, and that's how they knew they would click. So the three of us are doing a three-way, squirting bottles. And my guy, me and Bert are kind of like joking around. Fights was like,
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play.
yeah, he went in.
You know,
Yeah, that's
man.
why I think you're selling yourself short. I think you give great head.
Yeah, maybe I could. I don't know.
Sometimes the gag reflex plays.
One
Sometimes
day.
you can give too good of head. Like when Heather Brooks doing it, I'm like, that's,
Yeah. I know what you mean.
It's like I need a little bit of resistance.
Yeah.
What do we find out? He gives the greatest head in the world, and you're just holding that back. And no one will
what a
ever
gift
be able to
wasted.
experience that.
Gift wasted, man. All right, let's head back. Let's head on next door. We'll do Answer the Internet and keep the deviance here rolling.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What do you tell people where to get tickets and where to get everything for you?
At Josh Adam Myers on all social media.
wait. Before we do that, I want to talk about Skanks.
Yeah.
Because the appearance we did to Skanks together.
Can I hit my vape under the table?
Oh,
you can hit whatever you want.
Yeah,
Have you been waiting
Have you
the
been
whole time?
Bro,
Oh,
you are.
dude.
You're crazy.
I looked at him.
I misinterpreted what you meant then.
The fuck do you think I meant? It's like I'm gonna shoot this. I wasn't like.
I thought it was a lighter at first. So
It did look like a lighter. I thought it was a
I thought you
lighter.
were asking me if I had a lighter, and I was like, no.
Oh.
But then I saw that, and then I was confused. I didn't want to be like, hit your vape.
That's why I was giving you the thing. I was like, you think I was trying to fuck you? I was just like, it is pink. It is pink, and I'm like,
No, man, you can
Yeah,
do
I
like
feel
literally
awful.
whatever
Yeah,
you want
do
here.
fuck you want.
Like absolutely
fuck,
anything.
it's been so long since I just vaped. I got a head rush. Fuck, that's great.
When we all were on Skanks together, a couple months ago?
Yeah.
And this is before I knew that you had like a music background too. So when you belted out your Bob Saget song, it was right after Bob Saget died. We were clowning Nikki Glazer's song. You guys wrote your own, and it was the Linkin Park version.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
That was
the voice of an
epic.
angel.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was legitimate.
breath.
fire.
I went like, I mean, that was. If you don't know that someone can sing and the comics are doing a bit, and then all of a sudden, in the end, I was like, whoa. So were you like in a band and all that shit?
Yeah,
Or-
I was. Everything. My life has been between comedy and music. So
Yeah.
like when I was 6, I realized I wanted to do stand up, but I was already
When
like.
you were 6.
So my
Holy
dad.
shit.
My dad was a big comedy fan, and he was watching Comic Relief. And there was the Carlin, my stuff is stuff, your stuff is shit bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my dad just crying, laughing, and me being like, what is this? And he's like, this is stand-up comedy. And I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Wow.
Because I was undiagnosed. Well, I was diagnosed ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just unmedicated, so I'm wild. And so I was just like the funny kid. And I was also smaller, so it's like your defense mechanism.
Yeah.
But music was something that was very easy for me. singing, playing guitar, drums, bass, whatever it is. If I sit down with the instrument, I'll figure it out within an hour. I'll be able to do something with it.
Wow.
And so I was always funny, but I was always leaning towards music. So in high school, I was in bands, and then I went to college. Well, then I was a raver, and then I went to college, and then I dropped out of college and was in a band for a good 2 years, and we probably had a shot, but it just never, not everybody was on board. And that's the whole thing with music, is that if you're in a if four guys are in that group, five or four guys are in that group, you need to all be like, I'm willing to give up everything for this. Now, I'm like that. I don't have a backup plan for any of my shit. Yeah. But it's like, one guy was getting married, one guy wanted to have a kid. And so we never followed through. We made like an album, not even like mass production, but I think there's a copy out there somewhere. LED, ELED. And then we broke up. I went back to college, and then I moved to LA to do stand-up. And then maybe like 2 months into stand-up, there was a speakeasy in Los Angeles. It was a theater, but it turned into a speakeasy past this comedy show. They would do plays during the week, Fridays and Saturdays, but on Sunday nights they would do a comedy show run by Sarah Tiana and Laura Valdivia. And after the show, the guy that owned the theater would bring out instruments for everybody to jam around with. And comics like Chris Porter, me, J. Chris Newberg, my buddy Angelo Bowers, and Gerard Carmichael, we would just sing and we would play music, and that was how I met Burr, and that's how I met Gaffigan, that's how I met Marin, a lot of the guys that do the goddamn Comedy Jam now. But what I noticed, because those girls dropped that show, and there was this house band at that theater named Elemento P, who I still work with, they became like the backing band when I took over hosting the show. So instead of using a light, the band would walk back out on stage, and the comic would see, and they go, all right, so I got a minute left. They'd finish their set, and some of them would start singing with the band. They'd be like, just play something. Yeah. And I noticed how like the audience responded to that. And when they saw a comic sing. And so I kept in touch with that band, and I started working with them. And then, fucking 2014, when I had like some success, but it never clicked over to like, being able to quit my job or anything, I was like, I created the goddamn Comedy Jam, which is where comics do stand up, then they tell a story of a song, and then they sing that cover song with a live band.
Very cool.
And then that just blew up.
Yeah.
That was like immediately. Well, the first show was like me, Burr, Sickler, Jay Larson, and Matt Bronger, and then the next show, it was crazy, dude. It was like, you have one of those things where it's like, I remember I was like, as I was doing the show, I was like, man, will anybody even come to this? And they're like, dude, Burr's on it. I go, yeah, but are they even gonna like it? And the show went so well, and there was so much heat and people just talking about it. By that second show, so the first show was in July, by August, all of the industry in Hollywood was there. Right. Netflix, Comedy Central, really? And it was just off to the races. And so then it was me just kind of leaning into comedy and music. And now what's even better is, because it's crazy, the Jam won't die. Just when I keep thinking, I'm like, all right, like right before the pandemic, I was like, all right, we had a TV show, it sucked. We toured, we've done every major festival. We've played all these huge theaters, sold out Gramercy 3 times. I was like, hey, I feel like it's just coming to an end. And then the pandemic hit, and now that it's over, people want it so bad. And places, and really, like the Legion of Skanks at Skankfest, we have like put on epic shows. I mean, there's video.
That's the perfect example of when music and comedy like mash, because I don't know why, but seeing those guys sing and knowing they're funny and a blend of the two was like perfect for me.
Dude, well, that was what was cool about the Bob Saget thing was Big J is one of my best friends. We talk every day. I'm always hanging out with him and Christine, and he had hit me up. Dude, what was funny too is that night I had like a date. And I was like, dude, I got a date. He's like, no, just come. He's like, just do Skanks. I'll get you in and out. It'll be great. And I'm like, all right. I text the girl, can we bump till later in the night? Excuse me. I go to Jay's house, and we start going through the song.
Yeah, he loved it too. He put some work into that. Like, the lyrics were good.
Dude, we got stoned, and we listened to the original in the end. And then he was trying to write these different lyrics, and I was like, no. I was like, he was trying to change every lyric. I was like, dude,
Keep
the
some of the original.
song's laid out. I remind myself to remind,
Yeah.
but keep that shit.
Right.
Just
You
hit it with
change
the
Bob
punchlines,
Saget.
and then
when he dropped "Cut It Out," I think it was.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, the crowd
place
was
exploded.
like, "Oh!"
Dude, it
Yeah.
exploded. It was
awesome.
we wrote it within less than an hour. My whole thing was that my biggest, not contribution, because there was like punches throughout it, but we started thinking about that Korn song, the one that's like ga-boom, ga-ga-dee, ga-ga-dee, ga. And I just started doing the Bob Saget-doo, Bob-a-dee-ga, the Bob Saget-doo, and we started dying. We thought that was gonna get the bigger reaction,
Right.
When the other part hit, it dwarfed that.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's look.
You know what was even funny too was your version of Nicki's song, where it was like,
I
my
love
friend
you, Bob Saget.
Saget. Yeah, the whole crowd. I love you, Bob Saget. That was amazing. I said it then. I don't know if you ended up doing it. If you guys released that song on YouTube and on Spotify, I think people would like legit listen to it.
We recorded.
I mean,
we
you
recorded.
You have like a clean version of it. Not
Yeah,
clean, but, like, high quality.
So that happens. The reaction from it just like was insane amongst all the Skanks people. And
Was it just like you had to be there
It was
sort of
like
thing, though?
no, because the video came out and that was getting shared a lot. But it was then I started saying to Jay, I was like, dude, we should like record a music video for it, like us on top of like he lives in like a high rise, like we'll go to the roof,
Yeah.
and it'll just be all like like,
Sure.
just
Yeah.
like we'll
Drone
get like
shots
drone
and shit.
shot, yeah. And so we never got to the music video, but we did record the actual studio version of the In the End song. And then I did I Love You, Bob Saget over the Nicki track. But, dude, it's like that never came out. But, dude, I'm fucking like killing it in it. Like, because I do.
Why not put it out?
I don't, dude. It's them. It's Skanks. It's like it's Bobby Hutch and fucking Harrington and all those guys.
I think
Fucking do it.
Yeah,
if you're watching.
Because there is some element to me of like, you know, you either had to be there or let it live in the moment and don't try to like turn it into something it's not. But I think that would get a lot of views. And people would like that.
It would. But
It
dude,
would crush.
the fucking studio version of the I Love You, Bob Saget thing, because it's not just me saying that. I've got like 6 people all doing that. Like they're like the Compton choir group. And then I'm in the back like, I fucking love you, Bob Saget. Oh, Bob. Give me your loving, Bob Saget. Just killing it, dude.
Bro, I'm telling you, put it out, man.
It'll
That
get
episode,
there.
Me and him, I think we said like 10 total words on that episode. It was like we were already like out of our depth a little bit because you know how Skanks are. They're just fucking wild. And then the music part, we were just like, okay.
Yeah.
We were basically front row, like, what's it called? Guests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys were great.
Viewers of the show. What do they call in the crowd?
Audience.
Audience.
I
I
mean, that was
like audience
that-
members that just got to sit at the table.
That
with you
was,
guys.
but that was like they should have known that episode was going to be those songs.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the songs, and then we watched those like weird
the like
the
racist-
racial the racial videos. It's like, and that's the for years, dude. Every time I had done Skanks, you know, you've got 3 big personalities with Lewis, Dave, and Jay. And Jay's constantly riffing and hitting with punchlines. Lewis is kind of like the ringleader, and Dave's like the smart one. And I would get on there, and you would have like you try to find your.
You got to jump in.
and it's but it's tough when you're
Yeah.
with like Big J is arguably one of the funniest people
Absolutely.
alive.
That's why I was like, I'm not gonna be the guy trying to like derail his story to get my point in. I was like, go ahead, big man, do your thing.
And when I hit with that "I Love You, Bob Saget" thing, that was like I was like, I'm not good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I don't need more.
Don't try to do too much.
Maybe
yeah.
I'll throw something in, and then I don't want
That
to
was
ruin this
amazing.
feeling.
Yeah, no, the crowd was singing it. It was definitely great, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, so finish up with the plugs because I interrupt you, and then we'll do ATI.
At Josh Adam Meyers on all social media, joshadammeyers.com. I'm in a bunch of festivals coming up. We're Moon Tower, Netflix Fest. I'm doing a taping there for a special, a bunch of shit. So joshadammeyers.com and
Beautiful.
at Josh Adam Meyers.
Great.
That was awesome, bro. Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching this episode of KFC Radio. If you like watching it on YouTube, imagine watching it live on stage with us in person. Right now, the KFC Radio live tour is coming to a city near you. We have tickets on sale in Nashville, in Philly, and in Chicago. You can click here or click in the link below and get tickets. Come with your friends. Come alone. We hang out. We have a blast. We get shit-faced, and you can meet us, 2 handsome guys. 1 handsome guy and an okay guy. You be the judge of who that is. It's me. The handsome one. He's the okay one.
Comment below.